by 3 inches to Rafael Ruelas, and huge difference in terms of experience. The rules of Texas 10-point must system, 3 knockdown rule is in effect, mandatory 8 count after a knockdown. Ruelas in the white trunks, Rodney Wilson in the black trunks. Rafael, as Rich Murata told you earlier, looking to use this as a tune-up fight. Hopefully he'll get the winner of Julio Cesar Chavez Miguel and Angel Gonzalez fight, if that comes off, because Julio Cesar Chavez has had to push that back continually.
Chavez had surgery on his elbow, and apparently he's coming along and says he'll be fine to fight in February or March.
Ruelas, big left hook, got the attention of Wilson.
Ruelas, a good technician in there, has an excellent punch, has had problems with his balance at times. Wilson himself, pretty skilled fighter. A guy who's utilized movement in the past, but he looks as though he's standing right in front of Ruelas here to start round 1. Ruelas last fought in July, a second-round KO of Mike Griffith. A warlike first round, but then Ruelas owned the second round, and Griffith gave it up after 2.
Well, Ruelas is always one of the most active fighters you will see. You know where to find him, too. Rodney Wilson. I don't know if that's the best strategy to stand right in front of Rafael Ruelas. Rodney began his career 19-1-2, but over his last 11 fights, he has won just 3.
Ruelas is having good success with his left hook so far in the fight. That's the second time he's landed a really powerful shot on Wilson.
And he feels like he throws his punches, pick him up, with greater power, greater velocity at 140 pounds.
Judging from some of the fights he's had as a 140-pounder, I think that's true. That last fight against Griffith, certainly the knockout that he had of Thomas Barrientos last year, in which he sent Barrientos actually over the top rope onto press row right out of the ring. That was indicative of the power that Ruelas can hit with.
Wilson hasn't thrown many punches here in round number 1. Good body shots from Rafael. End of round 1. South Padre Island Convention Center, Drew Goodman, Rich Murata, round 2. Rafael Ruelas in the white trunks, Rodney Wilson in the black trunks.
In the corner of Wilson, they're telling him to stay on top of Ruelas, stay inside and work body punches. They don't want him to be on the end of Ruelas' power at long range. Ruelas hits very well from outside. Those long arms of his.
Rodney Wilson looks like he has a decent jab, but he is reluctant to throw it. And Ruelas chopping overhand right, scored to the side of the head of Wilson.
Whatever work Ruelas has done with the jab tonight has been strictly as a rangefinder. He's throwing power shots. Rafael a little sloppy there because Rodney Wilson was bending his body and eluding most of those punches.
Hey, the crowd let him go. Got up and thought more was happening in the ring than actually was. In fact, I don't think one of those punches landed. That one did, however. A short right again from Ruelas.
Ruelas won his world championship in 1994 at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles. Just a thrilling fight with Freddie Pendleton. He was knocked down twice in the first round on the verge of being taken out of there. And he came back, and the crowd was just going nuts that night. A big crowd at the Forum. It was so exciting to see him weather that early storm. They had a real war, and Ruelas emerged with the unanimous decision victory.
Well, Rafael Ruelas is a guy that has been down before in fights. You mentioned 2 times he went down to Freddie Pendleton in round 1, and he's come off the canvas to win bouts. Sometimes that startles opponents. I asked him about that, and he says, you know, all I look at it as is that I have to play a little more catch-up.
I can remember before the De La Hoya fight, everybody saying that De La Hoya wanted to get to Ruelas early, and that's what he did. And even in the post-fight interview, De La Hoya said, I'm conservative of the two. But they've both been world champions. There haven't been many brother acts in boxing that can claim that. Of course, Gabriel in that last fight with Arturo Gatti, I think that's the favorite to be fight of the year this year, showed that he still has a lot of fight left in him. In fact, he'd like a rematch with Gatti, although Gatti seems to be heading in a different direction.
Wilson with a combination picked off by Ruelas.
Goosen wants Ruelas to go to the body in this round. In fact, he wanted him to concentrate in the first half of the round and going to the body, but there he goes. Rafael really hadn't followed instructions up to that point.
Uppercut glancing blow from Wilson.
Don't push him. Don't push him.
Wilson actually finding a pretty good round in this round and growing in confidence, it appears to me, in the look of his face and the way that he's beginning to punch Ruelas.
Rich, he almost didn't look warmed up in the first round. His body didn't have the glow from the dressing room. I agree with you. I think he feels more comfortable.
Ruelas here is trying to swarm him.
Well, Rafael has been the far more busy fighter.
Wilson's punch, his left hand is a straight left, and it comes with good speed. And it's rocked Ruelas' head back a couple times in this round.
Oh, good straight right from Rodney Wilson. Caught Rafael on the way in.
Yeah, I think Ruelas is finding the speed of Wilson at times difficult to cope with in this round. I think Wilson is winning this round handily.
Well, he's certainly thrown more punches in this round. Almost impossible for him to win the first 2 rounds. He didn't fire. End of round 3.
Rodney Wilson landed his best punch of the fight in round 3. A good, crisp overhand right came with a lot of speed, caught Ruelas off guard.
You gave that round to Wilson?
Yes, I did. I scored that round for Wilson, the first one that I have so far.
Rafael scores to the body with a lead right. Ruelas' first 27 pro fights came as a junior featherweight. And he beat Jorge Paez for the NABF lightweight title back in 1992. Ruelas pressing Wilson.
Wilson getting down low and making it hard for Ruelas to get a clean shot at him. When they get close, he bends down. Some of those punches are going over the top of Wilson's head. Ruelas is just using his jab as a rangefinder, not really as an offensive weapon. He's just kind of pawing out with it, Ruelas.
Rodney Wilson between rounds had to have a little work on his nose, was bleeding a little bit from the left nostril. Wilson, a guy that's really not going to take you out. And certainly you wouldn't figure has the ability to take out a Rafael Ruelas. But not a big puncher.
No, not at all. He's got 10 KOs in his 22 victories. Not much of a puncher at all. But you can see he gives you a lot of weird angles, and he throws punches from weird angles, too. He's not an easy guy to fight.
Ruelas, a couple of solid jabs, and the blood again flowing from the left nostril of Wilson.
His last fight, Wilson, a 10-round decision loss to undefeated Bruno Wartel, but his previous fight in September in Chicago scored a TKO in 5 rounds over Aaron Shockley. He's fought some big-name guys during the course of his career. Khalid Railu, of course, who went on to win the WBA championship and beat Frankie Randall.
Final minute. Ruelas starting to pick up the pace.
Yeah, and I think when he exchanges, he will get the better of the two. He has more power, and so if the punches are coming equally, Ruelas is going to win out in that situation.
He has long levers for a guy his height.
Ruelas has got Wilson backing up in this round, and he's picking up momentum as he comes in.
Wilson doubles up with the hook, didn't score. Round 4, currently owned by Rafael Ruelas. Let's go to Rodney Wilson's corner. J.C. Gutierrez.
Better round for Ruelas, but Wilson still had his moments in the round there. You see that long overhand right over the outstretched arm of Ruelas. Rafael a little bit lazy in bringing that left hand back.
You talked about Ruelas' balance, and sometimes that he gets off balance and can get caught. What do you mean by that?
Well, first of all, his legs are very skinny, and he's been easy to push off. And at times when he throws punches, looping punches, he doesn't have his full leverage that he should have, and he can find himself off balance when he throws and easy to counter.
Big right hand from Ruelas. Wilson continues with the head movement, and Rafael throws him right back in the corner.
Ruelas is attempting to simply swarm Wilson, and I think it's a strategy that's working for him now. He's keeping Wilson pretty well busy trying to defend himself, and Ruelas staying right on top of him. And throwing punches inside. You see, Wilson can't get off any punches in this kind of a posture that he's in.
And Wilson's starting to breathe out of his mouth. Scheduled for 10 rounds. We're in the 5th.
Wilson at times will bend very low. He'll bend from the waist, bend straight down, and Ruelas' punches will sail over the top of him. However, if he comes up from underneath, Ruelas may be better served. Well, those are ripping body shots, Drew.
They're good body shots. And the gloves starting to come down from Wilson.
Mouth is open on Wilson now. He's getting tired. I think those body shots, those 2 ripping lefts, just took something out of him.
One of the things Joe Goosen loves about Rafael Ruelas, says he always listens in the corner. Sometimes you see fighters and you wonder how much they retain from their handlers in the minute that they have seated on the stool. But Rafael tries to soak everything in, according to Joe Goosen.
Rafael having a very good round here in this round. He's avoiding all of Wilson's punches and landing most of those that he's throwing.
Take him out, brother.
Ruelas beginning to pick off those right-hand leads now of Wilson.
He picked the last one off and scored another body shot with a straight right.
Wilson here trying to get back on his tiptoes and see if he can get some rhythm going again. Maybe get back to basics and try to do some of the things that were successful for him early in the fight.
6, 10-round schedule. Junior welterweights, former world champion Rafael Ruelas on your right in the white trunks against, again, Rodney Wilson, 29-year-old from Chicago.
I think Wilson did a lot better in the last 30 seconds of that round when he got up on his toes, began to move around a little.
Well, he can't sit in the corner and let Rafael pick his spots.
Because Ruelas was really raking him with those scorching left hooks to the body.
Wilson's a little different. He is tough to hit.
Pick him up, Ruelas.
But it gives you weird angles. He even throws his left jab as a kind of a strange punch. It kind of goes across his body instead of straight out.
Ruelas trying to work on the inside. Uppercut from Wilson got through.
Now here's where Wilson waiting for Ruelas again, and that's a mistake. He needs to pop out there with his jab against Ruelas, move a little bit.
Watch your heads.
There's been some speculation that maybe Rafael Ruelas would get a shot against IBF champion Vince Phillips. He has been mentioned. Even Arturo Gatti going down 5 pounds to 135 pounds.
Well, Vince Phillips would be an interesting fight for Ruelas, I think. And
I'll tell you who he wants to fight. He wants to fight Julio Cesar Chavez. He's a guy naturally that he followed growing up because Rafael is of Mexican descent. Grew up 3 hours, actually was born 3 hours south of Guadalajara. Spent most of his life in Southern California. But if you're a young Mexican kid, you have to love Julio Cesar Chavez.
well, you know, Chavez has got to get by Miguel Angel Gonzalez, and I have severe doubts that he's going to be able to do that.
Well, 100+ fights takes its toll. Wilson fighting southpaw momentarily. Rafael with a looping left hook.
The fight at times has become a little bit sloppy, as it did there in the final seconds.
I think Rafael is having a bit of difficulty figuring out the style of Rodney Wilson.
You're what? What about it?
Ruelas complaining that his ear is numbing on him.
You're all right out of it? Huh? Okay, all right. Look, right now, Rafa, start going back using a little bit more of the jab, 2 and 3 jabs. See if we got you with the right hand from the outside. He's just trying to survive now. Okay, let's see if we
Near the end of the round, Wilson turned southpaw, and it contributed to some of the sloppiness that we saw. Both fighters were just missing a lot of punches as the round came to an end, and Ruelas kind of took a run at Wilson there.
right hands. Let's see if we can catch from the body afterwards. Hey, seconds.
Now, I think Goosen wants Ruelas here to utilize the jab to set up the right a little bit more and to throw the right from long range. Ruelas complaining there that it was a kind of a hollow sound that he was hearing in his ear.
Round 7.
Let's start in the corner here.
Have you given more than 1 to Wilson?
No, I gave Wilson the 3rd round, and that was it. Ruelas all the rest.
Let him go.
Nice left uppercut initially by Ruelas.
See how Ruelas just uses that left jab as a range finder. He really throws it out there to set everything else up, but not as a weapon itself. And that's too bad, because the left jab can be a terrific weapon for a fighter offensively.
Crowd thought Wilson was was hurt, he was not.
Let's go.
Just lost his balance. Well, Wilson has experience, and he is demonstrating survivor skills, if you will, against Rafael Ruelas. He's content to throw an occasional combination, but Ruelas is probably throwing 3 times the amount of punches that Rodney Wilson has. Underneath, that might have been a little bit low, and Wilson acknowledges such.
Ruelas felt that one. That was a good punch.
Wilson's hurt. He got cut.
He just turned away and walked away from Ruelas. What a mistake. And Ruelas jumped right on him.
Rafael picking it up here. A minute to go in round 7. Now Wilson with a left-right combination. Best action of the fight.
Wilson, since he got hurt, has come right back and pushed Ruelas all the way across the ring.
Rafael hasn't thrown a punch in 15-20 seconds.
He's got Wilson bleeding badly, though. A mask of blood is the face of Rodney Wilson.
I don't know if it was from a punch or a butt, but when he turned away, the blood came flowing out. It is over his right eye. Short right by Ruelas. Wilson goes down.
3 punches landed all cleanly there, right and 2 lefts.
He's reaching for the
ropes. He's not
ropes.
going to make it, Drew. He's not going to make it.
You okay?
Oh, boy. That was a bit of a slow count, the last half of the count.
Wilson pushing away the referee. He wants to keep going. The referee has stopped it. David Ovalis has stopped it. Wilson got up on 10.
Rodney Wilson actually pushes the referee several times, David Ovalos.
And Joe Goosen is saying, let it go on.
Yeah, I stopped it.
No, Joe Goosen can't continue the fight.
No,
the referee stopped.
but I think he wants Rafael Ruelas to get just a little more work in. But the fight had been stopped, and honestly, rightfully so, because Rodney Wilson was hurt, and when he got up, he was still staggered.
It was at the count of about 9 7/8 that he got up. I didn't think he was going to make it.
Well, I had it at 9 3/4, 9 7/8, close enough.
Well, take a look at the finish. There you see that right hand and then the 2 lefts.
Yeah, I know.
And he certainly looks finished as he goes down. There's the second and the 2 left hands. Look at the way that his leg just crumpled underneath him.
Well, we've seen a number of fighters break ankles and blow out knees in similar fashion. But he had a bad cut over his right eye. Rafael Ruelas with the win. We'll come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the official time, 2 minutes, 59 seconds of round number 7. Referee in charge, David Avalos, calls a halt to the bout with your winner by TKO, Rafael Ruelas.
So his 50th career win as a professional against 3 losses, and his 40th by way of knockout, the number 4 ranked WBC contender, and he hopes the next time he enters the ring it will be a title bout. And Rafael is standing by with our Rich Marotta. Rich?
Well, Rafael, you finally landed the big-time combination there at the end of the fight that got it done for you.
Yeah, I sure did. It took me some time, but you know what? He had a difficult style.
Right.
He crawled in good. You know, he had a nice shell, and it was difficult to catch him clean.
Rafael, when he would bend over and your punches seemed to sail over him, was he giving you some weird angles there?
He was giving me weird angles, and it was difficult, you know, to catch him right on, and I finally did, and, you know, got rid of him.
How did you feel in there tonight in terms of your sharpness?
Well, you know what made it a little bit difficult was his style, but I felt good, I felt strong. I knew that it was just a matter of time and, of connecting the right punches.
Let's take a look at some of the action if we can, Rafael. The punch that opened up the cut.
Look, I think, yes, it was definitely a left uppercut right on the eyebrow, and that opened it up.
He walked away right there, and it seemed to know you seemed to jump on him, and here's the end of the fight.
Yes, I knew that he was hurt, from these expressions, so I had to jump on him and, not give him the opportunity to recover.
Well, your brother Gabriel Ruelas is here. Gabriel had his own recent great fight against Arturo Gatti. How do you think Rafael looked tonight?
I think he did great. He's ready for the big one, so, he's just waiting. It's a matter of time, but today he did great.
All right, well, hope that both of you get another shot at that world title before too long. Congratulations on the win tonight, Rafael.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you.
All right, let's go back here to ringside and Drew Goodman.
All right, Rich, thanks very much. Congratulations to Rafael Ruelas. When we come back,